Step 11 and 12 are not the end. If I have to say it, they are beginning of divine romance. The soul has traveled through so much pain, separation because of the ego and experiencing powerlessness, going through our confusion and going through our confession in step 4 and the willingness to accept divine will. And now the soul is standing on the threshold of divine intimacy. Step 11 is all about having the darshan of the Lord. The rest of the steps are a preparation. So this continual training of the heart to gaze towards Krishna, as the gopis did. They did not just wait for Krishna to come to them. They lived in remembrance of Krishna in every minute, in every second, in separation from Krishna. So we are also learning to walk that path. So step 11 is all about the path of the gopis. You can remember the acronym is Path of the Gopis. So we are learning to walk that with a loving awareness, living with the Serenity Prayer. Why? Because now we are in the culmination point of all the step 10 till step 10. And this is actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, the aim of all Vedic knowledge is to know Krishna. So step 11 is where it culminates, everything culminates into that. All right. Then the essence of step 11 is the inner altar. Okay. The essence of step 11 is not to fix anything, but to become the flute in the hands of the Lord, to become the instrument in the hands of the Lord, to empty the chalice of self-will and let it overflow so that God's will can be kept in. So it's the conscious contact. It's not just asking for help in an unconscious, subconscious way. It's actually lying at the feet of Krishna and not seeking any favors, but just seeking his connection. Okay, that's all Bhagavatam is about. So the definition of step 11 is sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will and the power to carry that out. Throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, throughout the Puranas, we see whenever we put self-will, we always complicate our karma. And whenever we become an instrument of God's will, everything turns out very beautiful. So the devotee prays, let me know you more, Krishna. Let me align to your will, Krishna. Let me want what you want. Let me not waste another lifetime. Let me give up my plans. Let my love be so strong that my own plans will dissolve in your presence. Okay, this is the mantra for me about step 11. Krishna, let my love for you be so strong that my own plans dissolve in your presence. And that Vraja Bhakti, the Vraja Bhakti, it's not about demanding, it's not about bargaining with Krishna, it's actually just about melting in the presence of the Lord. So it's the inner journey, the inner sanctum of that journey where the soul meets the super soul. So it's not about fixing the world. It's about the connection, with Krishna, so that we can be guided from within. All right. The Serenity Prayer. This is the 11th step conclusion, right? This prayer is a distilled Upanishad, I would say. Because if you study the Upanishads and if you actually connect the Sambandha Gyan, knowing your real identity as a servant of Krishna, Jive Swarupaya Krishna Nityadas, and if you know the Abhideya aspect, it's about the courage to act in line with our Dharma, and then the wisdom of the Prayojana, the goal, seeing the goal as love, not the outcome of what I want. So it's that Rasika Bhakti. So this Serenity Prayer is like that condensed form of teachings of this bhakti and the teachings of Upanishads in one sense. So the prayer goes like this: Krishna, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So serenity is not about detachment from the world, but it's about complete absorption in Krishna's will, even when it's invisible or painful or uncomfortable. As the gopis accepted separation, we also accept what Krishna sends us, knowing that he is behind every wind, he is behind every situation. ಕೈಯ ತೋರೋ ಕರುಣಿಗಳ ರಸನೆ ಕೈಯ ತೋರೋ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯ ಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಕೈಯ ತೋರೋ. Krishna, please show me your hand behind the circumstance. What is your will? So that's the prayer of a devotee. So the Bhagavad Gita connection in this respect is acceptance, like Arjuna at Kurukshetra. Okay. He was accepting, I'm powerless, I'm vulnerable. And courage, like Prahlad Maharaj was like very courageous. He did what he needed to do. And the discrimination, of course, who else can give us discrimination but Krishna? The wisdom only can be given by the Lord. So Krishna says in 250 Bhagavad Gita, a person engaged in devotional service uses intelligence to make distinctions. We don't just sit there passively. That's not devotional life. In fact, at the end of the Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Yatechasi tatakuru, do as you, finally you, what you know. So step 11 is, you know all the step 10 steps, and step 11 is where we discriminate and mean, Krishna, this is somewhere where I need to accept. Krishna, this is where somewhere I need courage to work on it. Krishna, this is where I need you to give me the guidance. I don't know which one I should try to change and which one I need to accept. Very, very, very important. So the true acceptance is all about Krishna, your will and not mine be done. So the true acceptance is the Vishrambhena Guror Seva. So Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about the intimate service. So Krishna may not change the situation, but he changes what it means to us. Every thorn becomes a flower when touched with bhakti, with devotion. So acceptance also doesn't mean passivity. It means resting our head on Krishna's lotus feet and saying, Krishna, you know, and I follow you. You lead me, you guide me. Okay. So divine surrender. Okay. Some karma is not meant to be reversed. Some prarabdha karma being there helps us be more devotee. But we need to know when is the time to also work on it. So this morning also in Bhagavatam, we were speaking about some karma. Maybe some people don't have good marriage karma, and but there are some things you can do to adjust and harmonize. So to discriminate what are the aspects I need to make peace with, and what are aspects I could do something in order to harmonize the relation. Not that blindly we say, oh, this is messed up anyway, and try to falsely renounce and try to falsely invite trouble, but also not that we control the person or try to do. So it's a balance between the two. So it's not contradictory. These two principles are connected, right? Bhagavatam says, surrender to Krishna, and we ask Krishna to give guidance. Sometimes some help comes. Maybe counseling helps you in your marriage. So you don't have to live a miserable marriage just because your karma says that. So on and so forth. So to know that which karma is not reversible, and which karma is improved. And Queen Kunti's example, right? She prayed for calamities to keep her heart fixed on Krishna. We are not exactly doing that, but Kunti did not exactly ask for comfort. So the mood should not be, Krishna, I want to be comfortable, I want to enjoy my marriage, so fix it. That will be material. But Krishna, I want to lead a Krishna conscious life. I want my path to be clear. So if this helps, if you think my marriage being harmonious help me in that, then we do what we can in that. Okay, so it's the balance to understand, discriminate what I need to accept and what I need to work on. Health. Similar example, Srila Prabhupada went to so many Ayurvedic experts, so many astrologers. He went to so many therapists, doctors. It's not that he was just sitting there, oh, bad health, I'll just sit there. No, he did something about it. He would go ask the astrologer, how can I improve? What can I do? He went to so many Ayurvedic doctors. He even followed the advice of the doctor who said, walk every day. So again, it's a deep acceptance, not of fate, but of divine orchestration. I'll repeat that. This is about deep acceptance, not of fate, but of divine orchestration. So we're not in puppets in the hands of fate. We are puppets in the hands of Krishna. So whatever he wants, if he wants harmony, so be it. If he wants me to suffer, so be it. I mean, try to do something, right? Health, if we're suffering too much, we cannot practice Krishna consciousness. If the marriage is too miserable, we can't practice Krishna consciousness. So we may take some help of yagyas or counseling or consultations which pacify us and put us on the track of how I can find enough peace to practice Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna says, without peace, you can't have happiness. So some requirement is there to do our part. And the question here to all of you is, What if this pain is the doorway to divine presence? So sometimes we feel upset. Oh, I should have chanted my rounds. I didn't. I'm feeling so bad. And that pain and that frustration sometimes leads us to connect to Krishna even more. So think of all your failures and difficulties and disappointments as a doorway to that divine presence. Krishna, please come in, invite him in. So accept the things that I cannot change. Some karma is not to be reversed. It is meant to be surrendered. Okay. Oops, I think I missed one text here. Acceptance brings us back to presence and grace. Okay? Acceptance brings us back to Krishna's presence and grace. So true acceptance, as I said earlier, Vishrambhena Gurur Seva, the courage to act. We know, wake up in the morning, that takes courage. Show up for the japa, it takes courage. So everyday courage, sometimes it's about showing up in your japa or apologizing. For instance, doing step 8 and 9. Whenever I'm at fault, I ask apology. Krishna's call, right? Krishna, Bhagavad Gita 2:3, he tells Arjuna, come on, stand up and fight, don't just sit there. He didn't say pick your bead bag and chant. So there are times that we need to surrender and chant. There are times when we need to get up and fight. And japa is often the biggest fight, the first fight of the day. The mini prayer here is, Dear Krishna, let me act even when I'm afraid, if it pleases you. That's the mood in this step as well. So the courage to change the things I can. Courage is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's about showing up in your japa or apologizing to somebody we hurt. So Krishna urges us based on dharma, not based on fear or anger. The next is step 12. Step 12 is sharing the knowledge. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to others and practice these principles in all our affairs. I really like this step. It took me a long time to get through this step and actually bring other people into this because I had to be ready. So the point was not when I was ready, because Krishna had to teach me that it's not when I'm ready. It's about when I'm willing. I thought I have to be ready, but Krishna was guiding me that I have to be willing. So sharing doesn't mean I have to be expert to share. Whatever I know, I share. Step 1, you share step 1. First 3 steps, you share first 3 steps. So the gopis didn't keep Krishna for themselves, right? They kept crying his names, and their stories and their separation is still an inspiration for us. They were even going to the trees and preaching about Krishna to the trees. They were so much in separation. So step 12 is not about preaching from the stage. It's not about giving class only. It's about living so authentically in remembrance that other people feel inspired to find their own Govinda, to find their own Giriraj, to find their own Kalachandji. Our own recovery is an example for other people. And we don't convert, we glow. Okay, this is the mantra for step 12. We don't convert, we glow. Because sometimes in the practice of Krishna consciousness, we have to preach to people. In this process, we're not preaching. We're just glowing. You take care of your life, you become happy, people will see the light. And then they ask you, hey, what cream are you using? You're glowing so much. I'm using Anartha-Nivritti 12 steps in a blockbusters. You want to also attend? That's my cream. So we're speaking from knowledge. Sorry, we're not speaking from knowledge, by the way. It's not speaking from knowledge. You're speaking from your nearness to Krishna. Mamaivamsho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. You belong to Krishna and Krishna belongs to you. Because if Krishna doesn't belong to you, right, Pankaj Radha, if Krishna Kalachandji doesn't belong to you, who else actually belongs to you? Who? Parents? Friends? Family?
There
No.
is no nobody actually.
Only Krishna, only Kalachandji is right. He is yours. So it's not that only we belong to Krishna. We belong to Krishna is a very strong fact we all accept. Oh, he is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is Aham Bija Pradapita. He's a seed-giving father to everybody. It's easier to accept that I belong to Krishna. But it's difficult to accept that Krishna belongs to me. So 12th step is that. When you realize that Krishna belongs to me. So we speak in this mood, not sermons, not lectures. We speak in this mood of Krishna belongs to me and I want to share Krishna. That's the mood. So mood is service. Service equals to sobriety. Means if you want to be sober, be of service. We cannot be sober if I'm not being of service. It's not possible. It's not possible. So when we serve others, we stay sober ourselves because we remember who we are. The identity, the sambandha becomes more strong. I am a servant of Krishna. So what do? I serve Krishna and his devotees. So the service allowed me to be sober. I know that without service, it would be much harder to be sober. And when I started these step work initially, they didn't do it the way we are doing with the boot camp. They actually started with step 12. Step 12 is the step 1. They say, what we're going to do from now on is what you're going to do with others. You're going to show others. So they actually train right from the beginning how to share. Why? Because your sobriety depends on your service. Your sobriety depends on who you introduce to this. How you introduce, etc. We'll come to that. But very, very, very important thing. If you want to keep this connection, if you want to keep this knowledge, service is the way. So the Hanuman, for example, he didn't just keep Rama only to himself. He was doing so much preaching that he came back as Madhvacharya. He came back as Murari Gupta. Of course, before that, he came as Bhima. So he kept coming back. Hanuman, Bhima, Madhva. So he came as Bhima. He came as Madhvacharya. Why? To be of service. He was sharing that knowledge. He had a spiritual awakening and then he shared it. And then he had another spiritual awakening. He shared it. And another way of doing it is when we come to meetings. When we come to meetings, we share, right? That's the service. When we share with another person in the meeting, with everybody, that's a service. You call somebody outreach call, that's a service. Very, very powerful. So the step 12, it lies in the detachment from results. Very important. You can go tell your friends about it, etc., but in the mood of detachment. And because we carry the message, not the outcome. We carry the message, not the outcome. We don't care whether they take it up or not. Somebody comes and says, oh, I have so many problems, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you say, oh, I can understand, I can relate. You're welcome to join our Anartha-Nivritti program. You're welcome to heal yourself in this way. Whether they take it or not our problem. Now, outcome, not our problem. It's in the mood of service, not saviorhood. Saviorhood would be, break your head. Oh, I can convince this person. That would become self-will. So we don't do that. So Krishna is the doer. We are the feather in his hand. And that frees us from the pressure. So the transformation is his job. We show up. We're just, like mustard seeds. Prabhupada was not thinking, by the way, that I have to save the world. He was just thinking, I must serve my guru. So similar mood here. Our role, we knock on hearts. Krishna opens the door. Right? Pankajarada, we knock. And Kalachandji opens the door.
To you, Mataji. Thank you.
And it's a joy. It's a joy to share. Right? It's a joy. I remember Pankajarada would brought me these incenses to offer to Kalachandji every morning. That's, knocking. She knocked on my door. And I would go with the incense and go in front of Kalachandji. So magical, this part. We knock. We give gifts to people. Whether they accept it, they don't. We don't resent. We don't control. So this is the transformation is his job, Krishna's job. All right. The divine promise is, there is no one more dear to me than the one who shares this knowledge. Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, 1868. So I'm not sure it was 1868, but I think so. So this promise that Krishna says, there's nobody dear to me like that. I remember when I was in Dallas and in front of Kalachandji, there was a young girl. She came and she was crying incessantly in front of Kalachandji. And it was her first time coming to the temple and everything. And I just went to her and I was talking to her. And then I asked her, what's your story? Like, who are you? Why are you crying like this in front of him? She just said, oh my God, he's just so gorgeous. He's so this and that. And she said, somebody on the street gave me the card addressed to this temple. And I've been waiting for months to come here. She lived very far. She didn't have license. She was just visiting. She was depending on friends to bring her, etc. She said, I was holding on to this card, the temple the address, and I was just waiting to come. And her hair was all standing on end, and she was in complete ecstasy. And she was just like, I'm so grateful to this devotee who gave me the card to come to the temple. So the point was, it was such a miracle to see. And she said, like, I will come here, more often, somehow or another, I'll come. And can you tell me more? How do I come closer to Krishna? What should I do? And I, gave her the bead, and I taught her how to chant and everything. And I was just thinking, that one card, divine promise, you will become so dear to Krishna when you introduce devotees to come to Krishna. And sometimes we know Krishna, we know japa bag, everything. Sometimes we don't have the key. We have a big makan, big house, but we don't have the key. So this 12 steps is like the key to that big mansion that Prabhupada has given us. It's a rasika service, okay? It's a very intimate service. It's motiveless, it's pure, it's filled with joy. And that's the realm of the mood of the gopis. So the gentle reminder, I just want to reiterate this principle. You are not preaching. You are witnessing his mercy in your life and in the life of the other people. And I have personal experience with our group here. I am so amazed when you share your recovery with me. Oh, thank you so much to all of you for sharing. Thank you, Ajmanjay. Thank you, Pankaj Radha. Thank you, Kritika. And thank you, Nandini Kishori. Thank you so much, Deepika, Lakshmita. Thank you, Ananda Shakti. Thank you so much, because all of your transformation, all of your shares, every time I speak with Sujata Radhika, I see that shift. I see that transformation, and it just warms my heart so much. So I am so grateful, because looking at your recoveries, I am feeling the light, the glow in you is making me, witnessing that transformation is making me grow and making me sober. So it's just joy. It's just joy. I'm speechless when I see that recovery. Thank you. And it's so late and you're so tired all the way in Alachua, and you still made it. I just feel so filled with happiness and love and joy. So this is the devotee's heart. It's not necessarily spectacular, but it's the whisper of Srimati Radharani in the moonlight when we show up for recovery, when we show up to being with devotees of Krishna who are coming closer to him. So I'm eternally indebted to all of you, this journey of going together towards Krishna. Okay. Oops. Final slide for today. This is a prayer, make to Krishna. Basic prayer is, your will and not mine be done. Okay, that's our final prayer. Sometimes we ask Krishna, I don't know what to do, but I want to remember you. Let my sigh sometimes be a song. Let my cry for you, like a calf cries for its mother. There's a beautiful song. ತನುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲವಿಲ್ಲ ನೆನೆದ ಮಾತ್ರದಿ ಸಾಲ ಹೂವ ತನುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲವಿಲ್ಲ ನೆನೆದ ಮಾತ್ರದಿ ಸಾಲ ಹೂವ ಸೃಷ್ಟೀಶ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲಾನಿ ಕೈಯ ಪಿಡಿದು ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ ನೀನೇ ಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಶತಜನ ಪಾಲ ಗಾನಲೋಲ ಶ್ರೀ ಮುಕುಂದನೇ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಲ್ಪ ಸಜ್ಜನರ ಮಾನದಿಂ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿಪ ವೇಣುಗೋಪಾಲ ಗೋವಿಂದ ವೇದ ವೇದ್ಯ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ. So this is a part of a song which speaks about all my limitations in trying to connect with Krishna. And this particular paragraph says, I have no strength in my physical body, and I have no mental strength to be super focused on you. But Krishna, you are so great. You Karuna Sagara. But that just by a thought, Krishna, I am so tired and I'm not able to serve you the way I want to, itself is so pleasing to you. Tanuvinalli, tanu means body. Bala means strength. Tanuvinalli balavilla. Neneda matradi salahua. But Krishna, even he doesn't even need a bodily strength. He doesn't even need a mental strength. All he needs is for us to call out to him. All he needs is that. Oh. So this is our heartfelt prayer. Krishna, guide my heart to where you are. Help me see what to release and what to embrace. Let my life be a message of your love. Let every breath become a soft chant of gratitude. So this is allowing Krishna into the temple of your heart. I'll repeat this. Krishna, guide my heart to where you are. Help me see what to release and what to embrace. Let my life be a message of your love. Let every breath become a soft chant of gratitude. And what's the promise? Krishna's promise? Keep showing up because you're worth it and it will work. Keep reaching in, keep reaching out. You are not alone. You're becoming a channel of Krishna's grace. And you're not alone in this. We are together. And this is not about achievement. It's not. I think I've shared with many of you in the past so many accomplishments in my life, so many books that I wrote, or awards, or being bestseller on Amazon, or being invited to go to different programs to give speeches with thousands of people. But nothing brought me that sense of fulfillment that this program has brought, because it's about alignment. It's not about achievement. So it's not about success. It's about sincerity. So every step in this journey is very holy, especially when we are walking together and when we are walking towards him. So thank you very much for your attention. That is the end. And guess what? We're exactly in time. We ended this in time. Any burning shares or questions or comments?
Mataji, we would all like to thank you for taking time to go through this with all of us. I mean, it is maybe last year, from 24 March or sometime in summer we started.
May
And
we started after Sadhusanga, no?
May.
Yeah.
May,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
like every single day, calls in the morning, you do 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the night. It is a commitment, and whether we are all sincere or not, you are sincere. So we are very grateful and fortunate to have you guide us through these steps. Um, I mean, without it, I don't know how I would have managed. So thank you so much.
I'm just the instrument in Krishna's hands, and I needed to be here for my sobriety, for my sanity. So if anything, I have to be grateful to all of you, because without you, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this. I mean, in March, I came to Seattle, right? I met you in February, March, right? Yeah. And then March,
Yeah.
I came to Dallas. We had, you remember, right? We did our lady Sangha there and everything.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
And out of everybody, you are the one who's been there for 1 year. So you see, Krishna's mercy to keep us together. It's become like a family, so sweet. So
Yeah,
welcome.
these classes are really helping. Like, I mean, there was a time when we didn't have it. Then we had it. Then it's like, okay, we look forward to it, however busy life is, how much ever is going on. Okay, wherever you are, you can just dial in. So, so thank you so much.
So to everybody watching online, you're most welcome to join our little family, little community. If you want to experience this connection to Krishna, this conscious contact with Krishna, join us. We have meetings, we have literature, we have support. So thank you very much for attending our boot camp, and hope to see you in one of our meetings. Hare Krishna.